Let's discuss what is certainty in the Islamic tradition. Because some of us, we think the only way to be certain if you see something, right? But this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. This is not the Islamic concept of certainty. Oh, I have to see it, bro, to believe it, right? We have this famous kind of line. If I see it, I believe it, right? And we have this wrong approach that sometimes we think that you have to have full knowledge of something to actually believe it to be true. That's not true either. Certainty in Islam has levels, okay? There are levels of certainty in the Islamic tradition. And we have this from the Quran itself. For example, the 3 levels are as follows. The first level is called ilmul yaqeen, the yaqeen of knowledge, which basically means that you know something to be true based upon its concepts, right? Like 1 + 1 is equal to 2. You know this. This is a knowledge-based truth. 1 + 1 is equal to 2. You have another concept of certainty, which is based on what? Ainul yaqeen. The certainty of seeing something, of experiencing something. For example, I know there are more than 3 people in this room, right? Certain. Based on what I've just seen. And you could argue it's based on knowledge as well because you're counting, right? But the point here, an aspect of this certainty is based on what I've just seen, right? I know that planes exist. I know that trees exist based upon what I've seen. This is certainty of the eye. Then you have another type of certainty, which is haqq al-yaqeen, which is the certainty of it being true within itself. Like for example, I would even argue the very fact that Allah deserves worship is haqq al-yaqeen. He is the self-evident reality, right? That everything depends upon. If everything is dependent, then they must be dependent on something that's independent. This for me is not just based on knowledge, it's not based on seeing something, it's based on it being true by the very fact that it's true. Right? It's necessarily true. For example, if you were to open your fridge and on top of the egg box you found an iPhone, you're not going to open the fridge, look at the iPhone on top of the egg box, close the fridge and say, it had to be there. No, you're going to question, why is it there? There's nothing necessary about its existence because it could have not been there, right? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is necessary for everything else to exist, right? And that's what we mean by something being haqq al-yaqeen. It's true by the very fact of it being in existence. Its very truth is self-evident, is necessary. Because if it wasn't necessary, then we couldn't exist. Because we're all dependent, and therefore all of these dependent things had to be dependent on something independent, right? And this has been discussed in the books of Aqidah. For example, Aqidah Tahawiyah, if you look at some of the commentaries, they go deep into this argument. I don't want to get into the argument, but I just want to give you the concept that there is an idea of something being true by virtue of its own existence, right? So these are the 3 levels of certainty. So don't think that you have to know everything about everything to be certain. That's wrong. Don't think you have to have seen everything in order for you to be certain. That's also wrong. So you have to understand there are ranges of certainty concerning the concept in Islam.